What's up, guys? It's David coming at you from Organic Price Books with a David deep dive. It's been too long, but we're back at it. Back to books again for a little bit. So I wanted to do a deep dive on a very, very cool book that I read. It's Carmen, which we do have in stock here. And we have the, well, I don't want to call it standard. It is, I mean, it is the standard one, but basically it does not include a dust jacket. This is just what the book looks like. And then we have the deluxe edition, I guess, or the special edition that has the dust jacket, which I definitely prefer. This is really a really cool dust jacket. Let me show you that. Here's the front, the spine, and the back. So I'm going to show you this without it as well. So I told you it's basically the same as the non-dust jacket one. Here's the front, spine, and the back. And before I jump into this one, I wanted to show you this. This is actually also a little extra. So when you get the one with the dust jacket, it includes another story. That's basically a long out poster, and it talks a little bit about COVID, which is funny. So if you, I'll tell you the story, of course, when I do the deep dive. But Carmen is basically a Grim Reaper. So she's taking this girl, and they're talking about, they're at this tourist location, and there's like, oh, there's nobody walking around. I wonder what happened, and then they're like, oh yeah, the disease like killed a bunch of people, and then people should have been wearing masks earlier. So they kind of it's a tongue-in-cheek kind of joke about COVID, and I think this came out. I don't know if the book itself came out during the whole thing that happened with COVID. So this is kind of a really cool little special edition story that comes with the dust jacket, and of course the artwork on this is amazing, guys, as you'll see. So I really appreciate this as well. All right, so let's jump into the book. All right, so let's take a look at Carmen by Guillem March. Yeah, Guillem March. I like the cover like this. This is the bookends. These are real nice. I like that. All right. So the story of Carmen. It's actually not really the story about Carmen, even though it is. That's the title character on here. But we're actually looking at Catalina. So Catalina, it kind of shows how she grew up, and she's the I want to say, even though she's a supporting character, I actually want to say she's the main character as well, because Carmen is basically an angel. She guides people who die to their resting place wherever they go, but she likes to take her cases individually. She likes to I don't want to say change their mind, but definitely give the person who died a different perspective. So you start off with Catalina, and then she has her friendship here starts off with a boy that she finds from school, and his name is Cisco. And here she is older. You hear them talking about, we need to tell her, we need to be honest with her because, she needs to know the truth. And then next thing you see is Carmen going up. She's going up the stairs. She gets to his apartment. I really like this style that they chose for the angels. Let me show you at the front. Basically, it's a skeleton, and then just their faces are like human, but the rest of it is like the skeleton, but they still have like the shape of a body there. So that's really cool. So she goes to the apartment, basically lets herself in, and then you see basically that this girl is sitting there with blood coming out of her wrists, and she's like, "Who are you?" She explains who she is, and then she helps manage her, and she's like, "What's going on? And who are you?" She kind of shows her face, so she sees basically what she is, and she is telling her, we kind of need to go. She's like, "Well, I can't leave. I'm naked. We can't go." Are you like? They basically compare this to Christmas Carol, if you know that story. What is it, Scrooge? Not Scrooge. Is it Scrooge? Yeah, Scrooge sees his past, present, and future, and all that, and she thinks it's something like that. Oh, I'm being visited, but she doesn't know that. Or Carmen basically blocks out this image of her already dying, so she's just basically her soul, you want to call it her spirit, whatever, is leaving. So you get this, she's leaving. She's like, "Oh, they can't see you." Oh, she's like, "Oh, they can't see me. It is like, I'm dreaming about this." She thinks she's dreaming still. So they go out to the street. Nobody can see them, but she tells me if you touch somebody, you kind of get to see their past. So don't touch anybody because it's very traumatic for you. So, we want to make sure you do that. So she's trying to make sure nobody touches her. And then she's basically telling her, You can fly around if you want to, and you can go, see everybody, or just kind of experience the day before I take you. And you kind of see that Carmen is different from other, basically, I'm gonna call them Grim Reapers. Yeah, she's different from other Grim Reapers. She likes to communicate with the different uh, souls that she takes, and so Catalina is basically just flying around, seeing everything, kind of getting a peek into other people's lives because she herself is flying. I really, really, really am impressed with how they chose the artist was able to take like this city, because it kind of shows you different landmarks, and it is an actual city in Spain, I believe, and you get to see all of it like through the eyes of somebody who's flying. So they definitely took that perspective whenever they did the drawing of it, and it looks really cool. And I also like how they chose the pink for the sky and the water. There's these very pastel-y colors that make a very atmospheric ambiance that give it a very like calming feel to the book. You get the lines of the buildings that give you that rigidness to the story, but the actual feel of the colors is very soft because, of course, you're going to the afterlife. So I feel like that was chosen deliberately, and it definitely plays off. Like, she's very soft colored, as you can see there. And another thing that I do want to point out, I know this is a lot of fan service and there's a lot of nakedness to it, but the way the bodies are shown moving, especially her when she's naked, is really impressive, guys. Because I'm guessing he had somebody model for him like that, and she had to strike different poses. So like Catalina likes to swim when she's flying through the air. She's swimming, even though she can fly however she wants to. And so the different perspectives that you see of somebody floating, like if they're swimming, so he either had to be underwater, taking pictures of the people like that, or the model, so that he can get those views. But it is impressive, like really impressive. Like I was looking at it, I'm like, wow, to draw somebody like that, you would have to have them in person, and then to capture that in the story itself is really cool. And then you see Carmen, like even though she's dealing with Catalina, she's still going over here taking somebody else's soul who died in the airport or in the airplane. And then they travel to the great beyond, which is the circle thing, and it kind of shows you what goes down there. They basically go and wait their turn to go into either heaven or hell. She doesn't really. They're kind of very vague about it, which is good, because the vagueness doesn't go one way or another. It's just very systematic. They're just we're just transferring you over here. We're not giving you all this information. You get to find that out later. Not us, the people who die, get to find that out later. So they didn't really specify which religion or anything like that. Carmen is like, oh, I have to meet my quota kind of thing, so it's like a job. It's not very religious, which I also admire. It's very respectful of other people's religion, so you can read the story without having it bogged down by, oh, it's a religious book in any way. So anyway, you see she's just kind of going and experiencing all these different people. She finds Cisco, which is her ex, and he's talking on the phone. So she's calling him a traitor. She's all like, oh, now, you think, oh, maybe he's they're dating. But yeah, look at the way the figure is drawn. It's really impressive. I really like how they, like how he was able to draw somebody like walking up the stairs or going up like that. That's really cool. Okay, so then you kind of start to get her story of why she decided to do what she did. And let's see. She touches them and she sees kind of like their whole story. So Catalina starts to realize that she did kill herself, and this basically is like this afterlife. It's coming to get her, and she's like, Carmen tells her basically, it's coming to get you. You have this amount of time. You can do whatever you want to do, but once it gets you, that's it. And so they're running around, and then let me see here. She tries to help this guy who is gonna propose to his wife, and he gets unfortunately killed. She touches him. She sees his whole history, and he unfortunately dies. And his spirit comes out, and then Carmen protects the people from seeing their own deaths. But if they can understand it, they can like accept it, like Catalina did. So this guy's like, "What's going on? Why are you naked?" And he's like, "I'm looking for my ring." So she helps him find the ring, even though it's not really the ring. It's just like in their mind. He unfortunately dies. She touches him, and he goes off to his heaven or hell or how or whatever it is, and then you get to see another one of the Grim Reapers, as you can see right there, and you see for her it's very transactional. Oh, sorry, I'm late. I gotta take her out. They just touch her and she disappears. They disappear. So they're like, Carmen, you need to stop playing with your souls. You need to just keep going because we have a quota to meet. So she's like, okay, well, I have to go. When you're ready, walk into the circle and it'll take you to your next afterlife. So basically she tells him that. This is where you see a little bit of the behind the scenes for Carmen and the organization that it is. Like I said, they're Grim Reapers, angels, whatever you want to call them. There's different ones, and they all have a quota to meet. And they're basically saying, you need to stop playing with them because once they are gone, they're gone. There's nothing you can change about them. There's nothing they can change about their life to be different. And she basically just wants to tell Cisco that she loves him. And basically throughout the whole thing, you find out that he's been dating the other girls, and she's always kind of been like, I really don't want to date you. I don't want to really, be in a relationship. But she kind of did. But he was always with other girls. So then when you see that, he basically wants to tell her that he loves her. And like I'm telling you, just the way they capture the body movement of somebody who's naked and running around is impressive. I mean, of course, I'm not trying to be perverted, but it is to me as somebody who draws, it's like, wow, you actually captured these movements really, really well. Like, really, really, use your model to the limit when drawing people like naked or running around with a shirt on or something like that. Anyway, you find out that basically once, because of their decision, a soul goes either blue or red. They don't really tell you what is what or which way is better. They just tell you, one's blue or red. You can't change that once because they make their decision, and it automatically makes them into either blue or red. And Carmen had, I guess, at one time changed somebody's from red to blue, and they're like, oh, that was just a fluke. You could never happen. But I guess she had been trying repeatedly with other people to change that. Here, they find out, she finds out that she was that Cisco was in love with her, and she wishes that she could change things. And then basically, through all of your decisions that you make, there are certain outcomes that come out, and the percentage of somebody coming to rescue her, like somebody stopping the electricity that'll shock her back to life, are like 0.1% or 0.01%. And as you can see, it's all red, like the thing is red for her. And then you see it kind of like goes like a different color. And then you see here that they're talking about, what's going on, why is there another one? And basically blue, it changes to blue, and she's already floating up, as you can see. When it changes the requirement, or it changes her outcome, and it basically has the electricity to go out, which kind of shocks her somehow. And her roommate finally goes to investigate, sees her, and is able to call the ambulance to save her. And you see her doing, of course, the CPR to resuscitate her. They call her, they bring her back, and she's able to be revived. But there's the guy. So like you can see in the background, it's all red, and then he was able to change as well, I guess, and he went up to blue. So the blue ones, as you can see, there's very few blue. So they kind of make it seem like he's going to heaven because of the blue one, and everybody else who's red goes down. Not down, they just go to a different area, I guess. And then, so Catalina basically lives. She doesn't really remember, but she kind of does. She dreams about the events that happened with Carmen. So she's writing down everything that she remembers like that. And she finally decides to, I guess, hook up or be with what's his face? With Cisco. And then, look, this is where you can see. So whenever it's like the dream, you can see the background is a little bit pink and it's kind of very pastel. In the real world, whenever she finally goes, it's very bright, vibrant colors. And then, like I said, these perspectives that they put for this city is really, really impressive. Just this viewpoint where you can get the curve of the earth as you see it when she's paragliding. And like you either have to have a crazy imagination to be able to draw something like that, or do a drone or get some pictures of it. But like, just look at this. It looks really, really good. Like almost photorealistic in the sense of like it's a picture and it's just, it's impressive. As an artist, I really like it. So she basically changes how she lives her life. now instead of being scared of doing things, now she's more open to the idea of going out and being different. So I really like that aspect of the story because you don't see it till the end that he was basically in love with her. He'd been in love with her the whole time, but she was too scared, and she had always told him that she didn't want a relationship or something like that. So you can see Catalina change to be a better person in a sense, and that's how it ends. You see Carmen at the end. So these are some of the cover galleries. So I really like the story. It hits hard. It's very emotional in the sense that it does deal with suicide. It does deal with people dying their own death. So it kind of makes you look at your own mortality, like am I living my life to the utmost? If I passed away right now, what would I regret? What would I wish I would do different? And I actually thought about that when I see. So he's there drawing, so that's really cool. And then you see the movement of the body. Man, it's very impressive. But yeah, I'm not gonna be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. After reading this, I kind of thought to myself, wow, if I were to go right now for whatever reason, what things would I regret doing that I would try to change if I could? And it kind of, if it gives you that let's try something new, let's be a little bit different, because you never know how the can change the outcome, not only for yourself but for other people. Why not? So that actually, like I said, hit pretty hard for me. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I actually thought about it at the end. I'm like, man, it makes you think. It does make you think, and those are the type of books that I really like. This is not a thick story. I got through it in about maybe an hour or so. But you get some really great artwork, some really great perspectives. The coloring on this is on point, and then the story makes you think, which I think is one of the hardest challenges especially for the comic book medium, because of course you think comic books and you think superheroes, but graphic novels can also be used to portray ideas that are hard to put on paper. You tell somebody, oh, she's floating through the air like if she's swimming. You can picture it in your head, but seeing it on there in the movements that she does is very, very hard to do, and it got pulled off really well in the story. So I really admire that. And then the idea of the Grim Reaper looking like this is extremely unique. I was very impressed with this. You would, like I said, you could write it down. Oh, her body was translucent black, where you could see the skeleton, but she still had a figure, and then her hair was pink and it went like out. Like I could describe that to you, but seeing it like this is really, really the next step that should be taken, and he pulls it off really well. I really enjoyed this character, Carmen, as a Grim Reaper taking the souls over, but also as somebody interested in wanting to change somebody's life for the better. So I thought that was very cool as well, that she didn't give up on her mission. Let's call the soul her mission, that she wanted to change that person, and then she managed to succeed. And then again, the idea of having a Reaper like that is really, really cool. It's super creative, and I'm actually quite jealous that they thought about that. It does pay off. I like the different angels have different things, like this one's skeleton, or she's a skeleton, but then this one is like the circulatory system, the other one with digestive tract. So there's different angels that show different things on their body, and I really like that. This is a very unique character. I want to see her more. I actually would like to see more of her in different stories, so hopefully that does come about. But there you go, guys. This is Carmen. We have this available at Organic Price Books. I really enjoyed this story. If you want a really fast read, but something that'll definitely hit home and will make you think, like really think about things, I highly recommend it. Get it at Organic Price Books, and I'll see you guys in the next one.